Hello every pony, this is Rob Royale, and welcome back to another reading of My Little Background Pony, Friendship is Magic. Personally, though, I dub it The Adventures of Dr. Hooves, because, you know, the Doctor. A couple things before I get started, as per usual. Sorry, uploads take a long time. I know I don't have many people who actually watch these things yet, but the uploads are taking about a week. Spring break is in a couple weeks, so actually I should be home and be able to get a few more uploads sooner. I might do some recordings in advance since I'll have more free time. Though I do actually have a lot of free time in college, but I'm juggling a lot of things right now. I'm working on my own fanfic based around Sonic the Hedgehog called The Warrior of Light, which is my persona, my Sonic persona, Rob Royale. I'm working on a My Little Pony fanfic. It's a Sunset, Shimmer, and Twilight shipfic. I might be uploading that to FIM Fiction soon once I get a few more chapters written. And aside from that, juggling, drawing, digital artwork, and schoolwork. And schoolwork is insane, and I want to shoot myself when I think about doing it. So, go procrastination. Technically I have stuff to do, but I'm choosing to do this, because, you know, this takes priority. Alright, well, I think that's about it for now. I hope every pony is doing well, and let's get started. This is Chapter 6, The Lion and the Liar. It wasn't long before the darkness started to win out over the ponies. Vision— Damn it, Rainbow Dash! Sorry, I've got one of the stupid— not really stupid, it's the interactive pony on FIM Fiction. Let me just remove her. Okay, I apologize for the interruption. I'm mainly keeping in for your entertainment. If you find that amusing, let me know. Let's get started again. It wasn't long before the darkness started to win out over the pony's vision once again. Having fallen from the higher road, everyone found themselves surrounded once more by the thick trees that had greeted them at the entrance. To add to the uneasiness, the silence had also returned. The group had been walking for probably another half hour after the avalanche. Vinyl tried to think of a good subject to talk about. When nothing came out of her head, she tried shifting her head to get some possible inspiration. However, she couldn't see much due to the only light in the area being herself and Lyra. All she ever saw were the trees, the shrubs, and the other ponies beside and behind her. The first pony she had seen was Derpy. That was when something sparked in her. "Hey, Derpy," she said, trying to sound as casual as possible. Derpy turned toward Vinyl, humming in response. "I just realized something." "What's that?" Derpy asked. "Out of all the ponies here," Vinyl answered, "you're the only one I haven't really met yet." I'm sure you've seen me delivering mail at some point." "If I did, I don't remember it," Vinyl pointed out. "Either way, I never knew you personally until tonight." "Vinyl," Octavia warned, "is this really the best time?" "Well, in my defense," Vinyl replied, "the whole Nightmare Moon thing was kind of taking priority. Besides, if those two," she motioned back to the Doctor and Bonbon, "can talk about candy, I think I'm allowed to talk about something that's a little more important." What are we talking about exactly?" Derpy asked, almost nervous. "And what do you mean candy's not important?" Bonbon interjected. "I'm talking about a name," Vinyl said, ignoring Bonbon's outburst. "Don't take this the wrong way, Derpy. I'm sure your name is perfectly fine. After all, you've lived with it for this long. But if you're gonna hang with me, I need something that makes you sound cooler, you know?" No," Derpy replied. "Perfect!" Vinyl started scratching at her chin with her hoof. "Okay, this is going to be a little trickier than most." She hummed in thought for nearly half a minute. "How about Ditzy?" she finally asked. "Ditzy?" Derpy repeated in confusion. "Well, my first choice would have been Derp," Vinyl explained. "You know, like short for Derpy. But that just sounds kind of mean. And I do have my limits, regardless of what Tavi would tell you." Octavia harumphed at this. "Now, Ditzy on the other hoof, that has a nice ring to it. It still has the same idea behind it, and as a bonus, it makes you sound kind of cute. Normally I don't deal with cute, but I can afford to make an exception now and then." "I don't suppose I have much choice in the matter, do I?" Derpy asked. All the ponies started talking at once to the effect of, "No," or "Not really." Lyra even sounded like she was saying, "None whatsoever." "Well, I can still call you Derp if that's what you want," Vinyl said. Derpy sighed in resignation. "Fine, Ditzy it is." "Awesome," Vinyl said. "Welcome to the DJ Pone 3 fan club, Ditzy." "Fan club?" Derpy repeated. "Gotta build a rep, right?" "I'm confused." Don't bother thinking too hard, Octavia said. She has that effect on ponies. Don't I know it, the doctor said. Just be glad she gave you a choice, Derpy. I had one almost immediately. Twice, he added, remembering how Vinyl had called him Doc too long ago. Well, to be fair, Vinyl pointed out, your names were easy to work with. Hers, on the other hoof. She pointed to Derpy. I wanted to make sure I wasn't being insensitive. You mean more than you already were? Octavia muttered. Vinyl was about to come back with a retort when something crashed in front of them. The ponies quickly looked ahead and saw a large creature that looked like a lion, with the exception of dragon wings on its back and a scorpion-like tail. A manticore! The doctor shouted. The manticore reeled up and roared like it was ready to kill. It crouched down and leapt at the ponies. Everyone scattered before the manticore landed. Bonbon was just inches away from his face, so taking advantage of her facing away from it, lifted her hind legs and bucked, hitting it in the nose. Bonbon smiled to her... Pardon me. That was my lunch. Bonbon smiled to herself before the manticore roared again, angrier than before. Suddenly there was a loud whirring noise. The manticore turned to the doctor, who held his sonic screwdriver out. It started moving toward him. Okay, the doctor thought aloud. That got him away from Bonbon. This would be a great time to come up with step 2. He started backing up. The manticore stopped advancing. However, when it felt something on its back, Lyra had hopped and started powering up her magic. The manticore jumped around, breaking Lyra's concentration on whatever spell she was going to perform and forcing her to hold on tight as the beast kept moving. Finally, however, her grip failed her, and she flew off the manticore. She landed next to Octavia, who, having never gone into a hoof fight in her life, stayed far away from the battle. When Lyra landed, Octavia noticed something fly away from her. The object fell in front of Octavia, giving her a clear look at Lyra's lyre. I hadn't even noticed, she thought to herself. She carried it with her everywhere she goes for so long. I'd completely forgotten she even had it. Ditzy! Vinyl shouted, keep him distracted! I have an idea! Derpy started flying around the manticore, just out of reach of its paws. Vinyl started walking up behind it. Her horn was glowing intensely. Derpy tried to keep the manticore's vision focused on her. However, when the area started to become even brighter with the light coming from Vinyl's horn, the manticore glanced behind it. Uh-oh. Vinyl managed to get out before the manticore swung its tail, knocking her backwards. She tried firing the spell in her flight, but she was only able to hit the canopy, far off target. By the time she stopped, she was near exhaustion. Derpy flew away from the manticore and landed near Vinyl. The Doctor, Bonbon, and Lyra also came closer to inspect the damage done. The 3 standing ponies turned toward the manticore again. It was on all fours, ready for another attack. Let's rush him, the Doctor said. He should be easier to subdue if it's all 3 of us. The other 2 nodded. They took an attack stance and charged. Every pony stop! A voice shouted. The 3 ponies halted in surprise. Even the manticore seemed confused. Octavia stepped out between the 2 sides. She stood up on her hind legs and revealed the lyre. Where'd you get that? Lyra asked. It fell off after you were playing rodeo, Octavia replied, but I have something more important to think about. She turned toward the manticore and began softly strumming the lyre. As she played, she sang. Hush now, quiet now, it's time to lay your sleepy head. Hush now, quiet now, it's time to go to bed. The manticore started to relax and let out a big yawn. Drifting off to sleep, the exciting day behind you. Drifting off to sleep, let the joy of dreamland find you. The manticore's eyelids started to become droopy. The other 5 ponies looked on in amazement as Octavia's lullaby seemed to actually be working against the creature. Hush now, quiet now, it's time to lay your sleepy head. Hush now, quiet now, it's time to go to bed. Octavia finished singing and played one last glissando on the lyre. By then, the manticore had fallen asleep completely. Octavia stood herself back on all fours. The other ponies finally drew closer, albeit cautiously. That was amazing, Octavia, Lyra said in awe. I didn't know you could even play the lyre. Hey, I didn't even know Earth ponies could play a lyre. Lyra, please, Octavia responded. I can play a cello, an instrument that requires much more delicate and precise hoofwork. Playing a lyre, by comparison, is fool's play. From the way she said it, the Doctor got the feeling she wasn't trying to brag. That was indeed impressive, Miss Octavia, he said. and very effective from the look of things. Not everything can be solved by violence alone, Doctor, Octavia said. If there is a calmer approach, I will be glad to take it. But why did they attack us? Derpy asked. Vinyl had recovered by now, and they both met up with the rest. It's a manticore, Vinyl responded. Big, mean, nasty, and that tail isn't just for show. I should know that first hoof. Not everything fitting those descriptions picks a fight because it can, the Doctor said. We were nowhere near it, so it had no reason to even look for us. Then what happened? Bonbon asked. Best case scenario, the Doctor answered. It was just confused by the lack of sunlight and was merely lashing out. And worst case? Lyra added. Nightmare Moon must have sent it into a rage, the Doctor finished. I realized I probably can't stop you from following me at this point, so we best keep moving. And that was Chapter 6 of My Little Background Pony, Friendship is Magic by ComicFan616 on FimFiction.net. Sorry if I didn't mention your name in the beginning, I don't usually script this, so I might forget a few things at a time. It's been a while since I've actually recorded, because I've been so busy, as I said in the beginning. So anyway, I hope every pony enjoyed. Link to the story is in the description if you want to go check it out. The entire story's there, and he actually has 2 more series, if I remember correctly, in the working. Fantastic, fantastic job. I personally love this. It's something great to read in my free time, and as a fan of My Little Pony and Doctor Who, it's awesome. I just love it. More stuff for the hiatus for waiting for Season 5. I am excited for that. I don't know what they're pulling on us. The trailers, they really are teaser trailers, because they're teasing us so much. So, anyway. Yeah, hope every pony enjoyed, and I will see you later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay brony, everybody.